Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 4, which is the halfway point of the semester. So you will be, we've already wrapped up fiction, so now we're starting poetry. So we're moving on to a new genre, as well as kind of thinking about what is the rest of the semester going to look like, since we do have a short semester. So this is Module 4. It's Introduction to Poetry. It's going to give you a lot of our introductory information about poetry, but then you also have the specific chapters about each aspect. We'll cover things like voice, imagery, sound, which covers things like rhyme, and the way words sound when we say them out loud, and then form, which is how the poem looks, whether or not we have a specific meter, whether or not there's a specific number of lines within a certain number of stanzas, that kind of thing. So that's all stuff that you'll look at. You have 3 assignments to complete. Then once you've gone through all of those chapters, it is a lot of reading. There's a lot of poems within those chapters as well. I will tell you that poetry is sometimes a little bit more difficult to read. I know it's shorter, but a lot of times students will look at a poem and they're like, I don't know what this means. It's just words on a page to me. So one of the things that you might consider doing is, if you see a poem and you want to try to get to understand it a little bit better, I would look and see if there's a version of it on YouTube that's where somebody is reading it. And there are a lot of poems where you can read other people's interpretations of them, which is fine. You have to be careful of them like influencing how you think of the poem, but you can definitely look up more stuff about the author and that kind of thing to help you just understand the poem a little better. But for me, reading it out loud myself, or hearing someone else reading it out loud, that is the best way for me to really understand why an author might have written a poem the way that they did. So the quiz covers all these chapters. There's a lot of stuff to look at, and that's why there's no time limit on these quizzes. And then so it's just a regular quiz, and then you have 2 writing assignments. One of them is just a discussion board with poetry topics. In order to really get into, there's so much stuff that we could discuss with poetry, and since we only have the 2 modules, really trying to get into a little bit more of the background behind different eras of poetry, different authors, different types of poetry. That is all something that we can do in this discussion board. So you have a bunch of topic choices. Now I've got 28 different topic choices here for you to pick from. Obviously there's not that many of you in this class, so you definitely can pick whichever one you want. The only thing is you cannot pick the same as somebody else. So if you want to do one, I would select your topic. All you have to do is hit reply. So let's say you want to do slam poetry, just write slam poetry, and then you can also put your name if you want, and then hit reply. And then that way you saved your topic and nobody else can pick it. When you're ready to actually write your post, then you'll go to these 3 dots, and then you can edit your post and actually finish it so that it's saved. But then that way there's should just delete that. But that way nobody else can steal yours while you're trying to do all of the stuff for it. So your discussion board post is going to be finding sources about a topic, and looking for things like videos, images, ebooks, other related sources. We're looking for things that just provide information, but also sources that will give us some context. A great source is poets.org. That's a great resource if you want to look there. But there's plenty of, history.com, all kinds of different resources out there, a lot of YouTube videos that work really well, documentaries, that kind of thing. So you're going to look through, find some resources that match your topic, and then provide some context as well as what is relevant for that source. So a couple of sentences, 5 to 7 sentences, so a short paragraph. And then you're going to look at your peers' posts and find 2 to respond to and do the same thing. You're going to add sources and type a short paragraph about each one. The idea with this discussion board is that by the time we're done, we will have then a big list of sources, about each topic. So ideally, if 2 people respond to each discussion board post, then we've got, 6 sources at least about that topic. So if that is something that interests you, then you can go into some of those resources that your peers have posted. So we've got a great resource to look back at. The other writing assignment is a personal writing assignment. So you'll notice we're doing this for our genres, for at least these 2 genres, where you have like a collaborative assignment and then you have a personal writing assignment. So this is another journal. You just put it all in one Word document. You're going to choose, this is all about form. So closed form and an open form poem from each of the chapters, and just write a short response. It's a good sized paragraph about each one that you've chosen. So a closed form poem is going to be a poem that follows a specific form. So it might be a haiku, it might be a sonnet, it might be a limerick, it might be a villanelle. So those are the ones that follow a specific form, and in that chapter there's a whole bunch of different forms, and there's a whole bunch of different things that you can look at. An open form poem does not follow a specific form, and so that will include a lot of our poems that are like free verse poems. There's no rhyming to it. They're just kind of open-ended. Some of them are kind of shaped like something, so you can see different types of poems in that chapter as well. So once you've done that, you've got your 2 entries, your responses. They're personal responses. Just what do you like about it? What do you think of it? That kind of thing. Why do you think the poet chose that form? What did you learn from it? All of that. So no wrong answer there. And then once you've done that, then your next 2 entries are going to be to write your own poems. So your first one, your first version will be a closed form poem. So you can choose any of the forms from the chapter, and it does not have to be a good poem. Literally, I've had students just write about a sock or something. So you just look around your room, see something, write about it. That's fine. It doesn't have to be a good poem. You're not going to be graded on whether or not it's a beautiful poem. You're going to be graded on whether or not you actually just follow the directions. A lot of students choose a haiku because it's short and all you have to do is count syllables. So that's, that might be a good option for you if you're not a poet. And then the 4th one is an open form poem, which basically means that you should not be rhyming it. It just needs to be, it can be short lines, long lines, doesn't matter, as long as there's no specific form to it. So we're not dividing it into, equal stanzas, we're not rhyming lines, that kind of thing. So you will have then those 4 entries, put it all in one Word document, upload it here when you're done. The last thing in the module is a midpoint survey. This is optional for extra credit if you want. Your responses are anonymous, but I do give you extra credit for completing it, and it's just giving me some feedback on the class, especially if you have anything that you would like to see change for the second half of the semester. Sometimes I try to accommodate some of those requests. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.